Howdy everyone watching this post live stream. I hope you're all having a great day. If you could drop me a like on this video just so I know how many people like it, so I know whether to keep doing these live streams. Now I probably won't stop even if it doesn't get any likes, but still be a nice person and like the video. I am thinking, however, about changing the live streams so that I do one on a Saturday, the next one on a Tuesday, and then the next one on a Saturday. So wait, I didn't explain it very well. So Saturday every 2 weeks, and then Tuesday on the in between weeks of those Saturdays, if that made sense. That's what I'm thinking about. Just yeah, for reasons that are kind of mainly due to just the Saturdays of not having. No, that's not what I'm trying to say. Basically, the Saturdays are. I'm missing them a lot more at the moment because I've got so many other things going on that I'm not able to fully commit to the Saturday. So I thought if I just make it so that it's every other Saturday and then every other Tuesday, wider range of people can be involved in them, and it's less likely that I'm going to miss stuff because it won't be every single Saturday. So that's what I'm thinking. Not getting set in stone yet, but yeah. I'm going to just jump straight into the questions today. Satyam says, "Hey, can I manifest a kiss from women who is 40 years old if you want to?" Yeah, absolutely. It would be no different to manifesting a kiss from someone who's 20 years old, who might be the opposite sex. I don't know. Literally, you can manifest a kiss from anybody that you desire. What was I going to say? Yeah, if anybody is in need of any of my help whatsoever as well, while we wait for more comments, check out the links down below in the description for those of you who are watching post. I don't know if the people watching this like right now can see the description of the live stream. I have no idea, but if you can, then that's also down there as well. Satyam says, "Can I change my skin color?" So this is one thing that I actually don't know, and I'm not going to give you a yes or no answer. I've heard other coaches say that yes, you can. I've heard coaches say that it is entirely possible and that they have had people that have done it. I personally have never tried, and I've personally never worked with anybody that has tried either. So I don't have the success stories to say yes or no, you can or can't. So take that with a grain of salt. But there's people that have said that you can, such as Ava from Ava Manifested That. I know she said like ages ago, this was like way back when, that she had someone who was working on changing their skin and eye color and apparently did. Whether or not they did, I don't know. It's obviously not for me to say yes or no to someone else's success stories, but I don't know. If you want to try, then I suppose give it a go. Kiati says, "Hey Matt, I'm manifesting a new SP whom I met at the gym, and even though he's interested in me for now, he just wants to be friends with benefits for now. How to manifest commitment?" So to manifest commitment in this sort of situation would be no different to manifesting commitment in any kind of situation. You have your story that you don't want, so therefore anything that is in line with that story, you do not does not require any of your focus. He wants friends with benefits, you don't, so you don't give any of your focus to it. If you don't want to go ahead and do it while you wait for your commitment, then that's absolutely fine. You're in every right to do so, but your focus should be that of the end result. You should be focusing on being in this commitment with him. You should be telling yourself that right now you two are committed, that everything is amazing, that you guys are like deeply in love, and holding that frame to know that you are deserving of this relationship regardless of what he says. Because if you start wondering if you're deserving of this relationship through the basis of he wants friends with benefits and maybe I'm not good enough to have commitment, then you're going to keep receiving that. So if you want to have that commitment, you need to make sure that you're assuming yourself to be worthy of the commitment. Kumo retracted that message. AM says, "Hi Matt, why did you change your channel name, by the way?" I wanted to find your channel and typed in LOA backdoor and couldn't find you. Yeah, so basically the reason behind the LOA's backdoor thing, just doing some on my phone real quick if you're wondering why I'm looking over here. The reason behind the LOA backdoor thing was back where I used to live before I moved. I don't do it now, so if any of you are going to try and rob me, it's not going to work. I used to leave my back door unlocked so that if any of my friends ever needed anywhere to go, my house was always free because I lived on my own from the age of 16. So I would always leave my back door unlocked, and it was kind of like meant to be a way in for the people that I knew to have like a safe place to go if they ever needed it. And that was kind of what I had intended the channel to be about. I had intended it to be somewhat of like a safe haven of, if you're confused about LOA, here's the back door to the simplified version of it. And yeah. Then when the channel actually became a bit more serious, because I'd never intended to make this a serious channel when I first started it. I had only intended this to be like a post 1 or 2 videos about things that have helped me really like step into it and go from there. And then I got quite a lot of like good feedback and then I ended up doing it more. So then as time went on, I kind of realized that my channel name was kind of like a little bit like not cringy, it's not probably not the right word for it, but it was less. Sorry, I will be done on my phone in a second. I do apologize. It was kind of just something that I wasn't like, I didn't personally resonate very well with. I wasn't a big fan of it. It made me like, if people were like, "Oh, what's your channel name?" and I was like, Law of Assumption Metal, I would say it like really quickly because I'm just like, ugh, it just made me feel really strange because it just sounded stupid. So that's why I wanted to change it from that. The justification behind why I changed it to this is because I am very much a big fan of the idea of a matrix, like whether or not, like, not from the film. Obviously, the film is a great film. I'm never going to deny that. But like the idea of like things aren't what they seem and all that lot. Obviously, that's all of what LOA basically is that things aren't what they seem. But also the perspective of, if you chose to step away from the law of assumption or law of attraction or any kind of spiritual law and look at this 3D reality, you've got people like Tate being banned for trying to bring masculinity back. You've got like Kanye fucking losing his mind and all this shit. Like, you've got all of these different things, and it actually feels like we are living in a fucking matrix. It actually feels like, when I look at social media, that we are not in control of our lives from a 3D perspective. Like I said, if you were to remove law of assumption, it actually feels like we are in a box and like the government and all that lot are doing their thing if and when they please. And that was kind of where I was going with it. It's just like, mind over this matrix. I don't personally think that if you were to look at the 3D from an objective standpoint, you can say that we are actually in control of our own minds. The government are banning people because they are bringing masculinity back. The government they put out these massive like fights and stuff between like factions of people, and so that they can do some shady shit on the side. So that's kind of why I was like, mind over this matrix, because I definitely feel like we are, if you were to remove your ability to create whatever that you want, you are in a matrix. That's kind of like my mindset of it. And that's why mind over this matrix, because I think that once you understand it, you can make use of it. Like, for example, using Tate just as an example, very, very successful person doing extremely well for themselves. And it wasn't until he opened his mouth that all the problems started to happen. If he had stayed quiet, he literally did use his mind to get over this matrix, and he was living the dream life. So that's kind of just where I'm at with it. But it wasn't until he started to stand up against the big tech and all that lot that it all started to go wrong for him. So that's kind of where my thought process on the name was. I am now officially done on my phone, besides every now and then I will check over. So I do apologize for that. But yeah, so that's why I changed my name, and that's the reasons from why it was the way it was before to what it is now. So DM says, can I change my height? I believe you can, yes. I've never done it. I should, because I'm a fucking little dumpling, but I'm like 5'6", so I'm really short. But I've never done it, but I believe you can, yes. Kumo says, amen, anything is possible except manifesting Arsenal being a good soccer team. I actually don't follow football, but I have heard that Arsenal are, well, I haven't really heard whether they're good or bad, but I've heard people say that they don't like Arsenal. But yeah, I'll accept that is probably an impossibility then. Kat says, is friends with benefits all right while manifesting commitment from the same person? Yes, it is absolutely fine, as long as you are not going into it with the mentality of this is friends with benefits and nothing more, or why is he only wanting friends with benefits and nothing more? But the actual actions itself are perfectly fine. I've used this example before in my like in other things. I don't talk about it in front of Katie because obviously, it's not something that she's going to want to hear. But when I wanted to, I was dating someone before and they were kind of giving me a little bit of an iffy vibe. I just started dating someone else, like, instead. I was not dating as in like in a relationship, but like sort of seeing, because they were like not showing up for me in the way that I wanted. So I just started seeing someone else. So in theory, that would be a contradiction to the idea of being with this original person. And trust me, that person ended up completely switching up and coming to me the way that I wanted them to come to me initially. So you can do things that somewhat contradict it, but it's the mindset behind it. Even stuff like reaching out to your person, you can do it if you want, probably not going to get the result that you want if you're doing it through a fear-based reason, but it's what you do from there that matters. So if you're reaching out and then they don't give you the response you want, and then you start like melting down, that's obviously where the problem is. The actual action itself means very, very little. Doing stuff in the 3D does not mean all that much at all. It's all about what goes on up here. So if you're doing friends with benefits, but you're doing it from the perspective of this is us in a relationship, we're sleeping together as a couple, not as friends with benefits, then that's what you're going to be creating. Kuma says, it's possible to manipulate your body. I've made my body empty my bowels at will, healed my hamstrings, etc. Anything is possible, my G's. Yeah, I do believe that you can adjust your body. The only reason why I don't say outright yes to stuff like skin color and all that lot is just because I've never had the experience. I have had people come to me saying that they've adjusted their height, not working with me, but they've said that they've done it themselves, which is why I say yes. But I've never heard someone say to me directly that they have changed their skin color, for example, which is why I won't give an outright answer. Nothing that I say on this channel is going to be made up. As in, like, I'm never just going to say, oh, this happened and it didn't actually happen, or oh, yes, you can do this, and I haven't at least heard stories of people doing it, which is why I said I've never had stories, but Ava said she'd had someone who changed their skin color, and that's why I referred to them, because I don't want to talk about something that I actually don't know anything about. Basically, I'd rather keep the integrity. But I do like the way that you worded like your message there. You make me chuckle, to be fair. Like the fucking couple of weeks ago, it's so like little things. I have a great humor for little things. It doesn't have to be anything like major or like some elaborate joke. It just has to be something like really silly and goofy, and I'll be creasing. So you make me giggle, I'm not gonna lie. Satyam says everything is manifestation. So if my girlfriend is obsessed with me, is also a manifestation, and go fall in love with me. Absolutely, yes. Everything that you experience out there is a manifestation in and of itself, based on your assumptions and stuff, which is why you'll find that people that speak very shitty about themselves will receive very shitty things. People that speak very good about themselves will receive good things. Even if they actually don't speak good in regards to specific things, they will still have those successes within those specific things. Hang on 1 second, people. Oh, that's at 12. That's fine. I can do that. I literally just got a video client book for today, so I needed to see when the timing was, just so I wasn't about to like run over while in the stream, but it's fine. But yeah, so everything is a manifestation from you. You may not have specifically said this person's obsessed with me, but if you have the assumption that people are going to be obsessed with you, or if you believe that you're worthy of being obsessed with, then you will receive that. Sorry, 1 sec. So yeah. Beatrice says, hi, what if all of a sudden you're not interested in being with SP anymore? Is this detaching from the manifestation, and will it still manifest? This is actually a very interesting question. And I love this question because it really shows the attachment that we show to like our specific people. I'm not saying that you are specifically, but this question I've had a lot. So if all of a sudden you're no longer interested in your specific person, then yes, you could like that would be an element of detaching. You're no longer, ignore my messy bed over here. You would no longer have the attachment of being with that person. So by association, you would be detached from them. Now, the part that I really like answering is when people say, will it still manifest? In this case, you're just asking, which is perfectly fine. But I've had people say that they're scared to detach because what if they don't want it and then it comes in? And it's like, but if you've detached and you don't want it, why is it a problem? It's like this mindset of like attachment where they're so scared to actually detach that even when they announce that if they detach, they won't care anymore, they're still scared to not care anymore. Like they're so attached to this person that they're scared to move on, which is really strange to me. It's really baffling. But anyway, yes, quite often if you do detach, people do find that their manifestation comes not long after because you've removed that element of needing that that desire. So yes, more often than not, it will still manifest if you feel like you've got to a point where you've done more than enough work and this is your outcome, basically. But yeah, when people say to me, "Oh, like I'm scared to detach because what if I don't want it anymore?" It's like, so what you're saying is I'm scared to detach because what if I then free myself up for the rest of my life to do whatever I want whenever I want? And it's like you're literally quite scared to have freedom. It's like it's really strange to me. I don't get it. Satyam says is also manifestation, right? Oh, that's furthering your thing. So you said, and girl fall in love with me is also manifestation, right? Yes, that is true. And then you also say, hey, how can I become extremely handsome and very attractive? First off, well, there's a couple of ways to do this. This is one of those things that I think 3D work is very useful for as well. But first off, start telling yourself that you already are. If you want to become that, you need to step into the state of already being that. So I am already attractive. I'm really good looking. Did you say anything else in it, or just handsome, attractive? Yeah, so I'm handsome, I'm attractive, all of these nice things. And then understand what handsome and attractive means to you. So if you were to already be that, what would that be? And then start working on it. For example, for me to say that I'd be handsome and attractive, I'd probably need a little bit more muscle, stuff like that, really. I really want to get my teeth sorted. So just things like that. So I start working towards them in the 3D while simultaneously telling myself that I'm already that thing. And you'll just find that over time, people will start telling you that you already are, because what you believe to be true must be reflected, and you'll start to believe that you are too. Dante says, hi, Matt. How and when did your interest in LOA begin? So quite a while ago. I can't remember exactly when. Quite a while ago, though. And do you say, yeah, how? So how? I was broken up with by my first, she was my third girlfriend, but my first one was a high school sweetheart who literally abused me in school and shit. She would scratch me up. Like, my face was like constantly bleeding and scarred and shit because she would go absolutely ballistic on my face. So she, obviously, I didn't really have a lot of feelings for her. Cat, hi. So she was the first one I didn't really care about. The second one I kind of got with, but wasn't really interested. It was one of those things that I found myself in, and because back then I was like, what, 18, maybe a little bit older. I don't remember exactly when, but not being being a bit of a coward, for want of a better term, I stayed with her for 3 years instead of just leaving when I should have, which is awful, I know. And looking back on it now, I wish I'd just left straight away. But yeah, so I didn't really have a lot of feelings for her either. So I didn't really experience my first proper breakup until the third girlfriend. So when she broke up with me, I was like scouring the internet, as you do, you know, like, how can I get her back? I didn't know about LOA at the time, but I was like scouring the internet about how I could get her back. And I came across a video that said manifest a text, and it was like a visualization. Never heard of manifestation before, like, at all. Not even like I'd heard the word, obviously, but I'd never heard that it was like an entire like cult sort of thing. So yeah, I watched the video and I did the visualization, and while I didn't get the success in that moment, and the whole story behind that person is quite interesting, if anyone's interested in it, I can potentially go through it at some point in the future. But the only thing is, I don't like talk about my past people in front of Katie or where Katie will see, because it's just not really for her to, you know, she ain't gonna want to see it. But I did this thing, and although I didn't get the success then, I kind of felt different after doing it. I felt actually like good. It was the first time I felt good since the breakup. And then I started to research what manifestation actually was. And then I found myself in the law of attraction community, watching people like Master Shri Akarshana, manifesting with Roxy. I can't remember some of the others. So that's kind of like where I sort of generally started. And that's how I started. Story time. Marnie says, I love Kanye so much, though. I don't really know much about him. All I see is stuff about him, like, yeah, basically being a bit of a tool. I like, in terms of like some of the stuff that he says, I haven't really got an opinion for or against him. I just think that he's like, if what I keep seeing about him is true, then he's gone a bit nuts. But I mean, it is what it is, isn't it? Like I said, if you're in this matrix and you open your mouth, you're fucked. So you might as well just stay quiet. And him, Tate, a few other people chose not to stay quiet, and now they're all somewhat suffering the consequences of it. Kuma says Kanye West should change his last name to South because that's where things are going for him. Yeah, if what I hear is true, then yep, absolutely. Beatrice says, and is it okay to detach? Yes, it's perfectly fine to detach. If you want to detach, there is no point why you should like force yourself to stay invested in something. If you're just done with it, or if you feel like you've done enough, that's fine. Lady R says, hi Matt, howdy. When one wants to marry, wants marriage with SP, should they manifest the relationship first or go straight to the marriage? So the way that I like to answer this question is, if you were to wake up tomorrow in your desired reality, would you like to wake up married, or would you like to wake up in a relationship? What would be preferred if you were to literally like, boom? Obviously, assume you still got the wedding of your dreams and all that lot, because some people will say, oh, I don't want to wake up married tomorrow because then I would have missed my wedding. And it's like, you get where I'm going with this. So yeah, if you were to wake up literally tomorrow in your desired reality, would that be marriage or would that be relationship? If it's marriage, I would advise go straight to marriage. If it's relationship because you want to wait for marriage some point down the line, then go for the relationship. But it's entirely up to you overall, but that's my recommendation. Theory says, hi, I'd like to go on a date with my SP. He always comes over but doesn't want to go out, I guess. I asked him if I'm a secret. It's private, and he said I am his girlfriend. He is loving but never want to go on a date. Should I manifest him asking me to take me out, or should I take action? You should manifest already being on that date. What you're doing at the moment is focusing on the fact that A, he doesn't want to do it, and B, how you can get to that point by literally asking, should I manifest him taking me out, or should I take the action? If you want to take the action, take the action. It's entirely up to you. But if you're going to do a manifestation sort of like routine technique sort of thing, you're best off just going straight to already being on that date or already having that date and dwell in that. And then the pieces will be put together to get you to that point. Satyam says, what to affirm for daily kiss from my specific person? Literally just that. Just like, I'm so grateful to be able to kiss my specific person, or I'm so grateful my specific person kisses me. Or, I mean, if you want a relationship with them, I would advise that. Like, if it's just a kiss, then just literally affirm for the kiss regularly. But if it's like you want a relationship and the kiss is kind of like a point to lead there, just advise going straight to the relationship. But it's literally just telling yourself that you already received that thing, or that like you get to do that every day, or like however you want to refer to it. But that is essentially it in that. Tell yourself that it's already existing right now. Lady R says, I recently started listening to subliminals and I have a few questions. Does the volume matter? I don't believe so, no. I'm a light sleeper and I need it to really soft so I can sleep. No, your subconscious mind is always kind of like hearing stuff. That's why, for example, a great example of this, horror movies play a frequency that, like a sound that's on a frequency that we can't hear, but we can energetically pick up on. That makes us feel more on edge, which is why horror movies are a lot more like scarier than, because we're aware that we're literally just watching a film. We are aware that we're in our bedroom and we are seeing a screen or at the cinema or whatever. So we know that what's going on in the film isn't going to affect us anyway, but they play a frequency that we pick up on that literally makes us feel more scared, which is why we do. So that's a silent frequency that we still pick up on. So the sound doesn't really matter. You can have it super light if you want to. Then you say, second, can I listen to them while there's other background noise? Example, at work? Yes, absolutely. I do them while I'm like watching YouTube and coaching, because I like to have my subliminals here on my phone, coaching, emails here, and then sometimes I'll have some YouTube videos here, and I find it doesn't affect me in a negative way at all. And then third, should I listen to only one for each manifestation, or can I listen to random ones for one manifestation? You can listen to whatever you want, whenever you want, for whatever you want. Your subconscious mind is still going to pick it all up. Doi Dulan, apologies if I said that wrong, says, hey, Matt, can one manifest a life purpose, or is it supposed to come from your inner being, and manifestation game comes after knowing what you want from life? Life purpose, I find, comes naturally to you anyway. You may not know it immediately, but I do find that everyone will find their life purpose at some point or another. You can manifest finding it, because you said, can I manifest a life purpose? I feel like you already have a life purpose. It would be more a manifest like finding it or stumbling upon it, which you absolutely can do. What I recommend to do to find your life purpose is meditation, and sit with it under the basis of like to sit through and think about what would fulfill your life. If you were to die tomorrow, what would be the thing that you would need to do today to say, yep, that's me, good, that's my life fulfilled? For me, it would be doing there's a couple of things that I'd like to do, actually. I suppose I have a few life purposes. I don't know if these are just desires or whether they're actually life purposes. But for me, I would love to do an in-person talk with like you guys. Obviously, I'd probably need a much bigger following in order for that to be anything that anyone would even be interested in. And to do a live show with my band. Those, and to have a couple of other things, but a bit private. Not necessarily private, but more stuff that I shouldn't talk about out on the internet, shall we say, because it involves other people, and I don't want their stuff to be presented outward. But yeah, so those would be my things that if I'd done today and then died tomorrow, that I could say that I lived the life of my purpose. So sit with yourself and think, what would that be for you, and then try and work towards it. Lady R says, have you ever used mind movies? I cannot say I have, no. I might have done at some point accidentally, but off the top of my head, no, I haven't. Theory says, hi, Matt. I tried to sleep with my affirmation track on, but it was hard to fall asleep and woke up many times. Please advise how to solve this problem. Lower the volume. I don't know. That's a difficult thing for me to solve a problem for, because I don't know why you struggled to sleep with it on, or why you woke up many times. Maybe lower the volume. Have it further away from you, but slightly louder, so that like it's a lot more faint and distant. Yeah, I don't know. That's kind of a tricky one. I suppose it would be more of a personal thing for you to be able to figure out how to help you sleep, you know? AM says, I know that we create everything in our 3D, but why is it that when I meet a guy and really like him, but turns out he doesn't want anything serious with me, but I don't think I created/wanted that? Okay, so you did. That paragraph just then explains how you did. I know that we create everything in our reality, but why is it that when I meet a guy and really like him, but turns out he doesn't want anything serious with me, but I don't think I created/wanted that? In your sentence, you're literally asking why that happens to you. which must mean that you associate with a reality in which guys that you meet and begin to like don't like you. So yes, you may not actively think about it, but you do have an underlying assumption that that happens to you, and therefore you must abide by that assumption, because there's obviously the law of assumption. What you assume to be true is true. So if you are assuming that the guys that you meet aren't interested in you once you like them, that's the assumption that you must abide by, and therefore that's why it keeps happening to you. Lady R says, I think I'll manifest a relationship with SB. I'd be freaked out if I woke up and I'm married to him. Yeah, I can understand why, but if it helps you figure out like what it is that you want, I suppose it's a good enough analogy, not analogy, a good enough method. I don't know what I'd refer to that as. Satyam says, if I want to manifest KFC bucket, what would I affirm? I've received a KFC bucket. I'm pretty sure you asked these exact questions in a live stream a couple of weeks ago. You asked me like how to get like daily kiss, and you asked me how to get KFC, because you put like KFC but spell it or added like an extra letter in. I'm pretty sure you've asked me this. But yeah, it would be, I mean, either or, because you put I am eating KFC or I ate KFC. Either or. One implies that you're doing it now. The other implies that it's already done. Some Rain says, morning, Matt. I know you can't say about time, but I mean, is it a thing that after 6 months there is zero movement? So I do predominantly, and this isn't for everyone, so obviously take what resonates with you and leave the rest, but I do predominantly find that movement and all that lot will happen within a shorter time scale if you really commit to the end result. Now, again, this isn't for everything. And for example, my pay rise that I got from my job didn't happen for like 6 months, and there was absolutely zero movement until then. So not everything will abide by this. But I do find that if you really commit to the end result, you will start to get some form of movement within a decent time scale. Maybe not the full manifestation, but these things leading you there. So I think double check with your process and see if you are actually staying as committed as you think you are. And I don't mean that in like a bad way, as in like, oh, you're not doing the work, but I do find that a few people that I work with, like on a one-to-one basis, say, oh yeah, like, I'm doing amazing, and then like they'll tell me what they do on a day-to-day basis, and I'm like, oh, okay, maybe this could be tweaked, and this and this and this, and there's actually quite a lot that they could be doing better. So look deeper into your process and see what it is that you could potentially adjust, if there is anything. If you feel like you're doing everything perfectly, then just continue doing what you're doing. But it's not necessarily you're doing everything wrong if you've had zero movement in 6 months, because like I said, I didn't get my pay rise for 6 months with absolutely zero movement of getting one. So it can happen, but just review your own process and see if that is your situation. I'm just going to answer the rest of these, and I'm going to head off. Then I got to head off because I got a few things to do before my client at 12, and then I have a client at 2:30 today. So I need to get things done before the kids get home, because then it becomes impossible to do anything. Yolina says, bad breakup publicly, not able to revise. How many times should I repeat the affirmation? Until you get your desired reality, or until you feel like you don't want to affirm anymore. It's one of those things that you persist until it hardens into fact. However, some people get to a point where they feel like they've done all that they need to do and would rather leave it up to the universe to bring it to them. So I would say affirm until it hardens into fact. Satyam says, I'm having trouble making my affirmations. Which tense should I affirm? That's why I ask you some weird questions. Affirm either past or present. You don't want to affirm future, as in I will have KFC. But you want to affirm either the past, as in it's already happened, or the present, as in it's happening right now. That will get you the best results, and that will get you your desire in a much more effective way. I don't mind the weird questions. I was just saying that I'm pretty sure you've asked me that already. I don't mind answering the same things. I was just pointing out that it had been done. By all means, these live streams are for you guys. You guys can ask whatever you want. I'm here to try and help you guys really understand the process as best I can, without obviously working on a literal one-to-one basis. Verge says, what do you think about robotically affirming versus imagining something as real? I personally find I get the most success when I feel it is real. I'm going to say feel it is real because I use affirmations a lot more than visualizations, but obviously you can change that to visualizations as well. I personally find I get a lot more success when I feel it real, as opposed to when I robotically affirm. But I have had success when I robotically affirm as well. So both do work. It's just what feels best for you. I feel that I get successes much easier and much more like efficiently if I feel it real. But like I said, I have had success with both. Satyam says, I'm having a hard time accepting that past tense affirmations work. Well, your 3D reality is based upon what your subconscious mind believes to be true. So if your subconscious mind believes that it's something that you've experienced, that it will bring it out for you to experience, so that it can be a true reality. Because where your focus goes, energy flows. If you're finding it hard to believe that they work, then stick to present tense, mate. You haven't got to force yourself to do past tense just because I said that they work. You do what's comfortable for you. You don't have to. Well, I'm just going to repeat myself again, but you haven't got to force yourself to do what I say works. Do what feels comfortable for you, as long as it's not future tense, because then that definitely will make it more difficult. Sometimes I have had people say that they got the success with future tense, and it could be potentially that with future tense they've been placing yourself in the consideration of being it. So in order for you to say I will have my dream job, you could be potentially thinking about yourself in that dream job when you do have it, which obviously is you thinking about yourself in it, which I suppose is still present tense, but you know what I mean. So test about, see what works best for you. Yelena says, okay, thanks. I feel like not doing it anymore, but then I feel like I'm not doing enough. Maybe I am giving up. If you feel like not doing it anymore, but you don't feel like you're at a place where like it's done, so to speak, then I would say that you're probably just getting to a point where you just don't want to do it and you are giving up, which is perfectly fine. You don't have to force yourself to do it if you don't want to. But I do find that the people who have the best success when they give up or when they detach and when they walk away are the ones that have really like really committed to it, really done it like all throughout the day, and now they feel like they're in a situation where they actually are saturated, and if they left, they still cannot be denied their reality, their desired reality. Whereas if you're in your situation where you feel like maybe you're not doing enough and all that lot, that doesn't sound very like collected, calm, and confident that you've done it right, which to me would say that maybe you're just at a point where you're giving up as opposed to detaching and letting the universe do it for you. But again, I'm not in your brain, so I cannot say that for sure. That's just my observation based on your comments. Take what resonates and obviously work through the rest. Satcham says, feel it real mean feel natural and normal. Feel it real means feel as though it's true for you. So yes, natural and normal as if it is here right now. Poem says, good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon to you too. Well, it's good morning for me, but unfortunately, Poem, I'm literally about to head off. So I'm going to love you and leave you. And to the rest of you who showed up to the live stream, thank you very much for showing up today. I really hope you have a good rest of your days and stuff. And obviously, if any of you do want to work with me on a more one-to-one basis, and we can actually go through your specific situations and work out the best course of action, the links will be down below, and you can obviously sign up for all of that. And I do have other services as well. So if you want custom-made affirmations, vision boards, affirmation tapes, all that kind of stuff, then check out the website. I'm more than happy to help in any way that I can. With that out of the way, I'll catch you in the next one. Go watch all my other videos. Bye-bye. Yelena says, thanks for answering. You're very welcome. And Lady R says, thanks, Matt, for always answering our questions. You are very welcome. Have a good rest of your day. Goodbye.